There are two terms in Islam that we need to learn to distinguish, both of which are haram and problematic. The first is ghiba, and the second is buhtan. Backbiting is the first concept, and the second concept is slandering. Both of these are problematic in Islam. What is the difference? When I speak about somebody else, if what I am saying is untrue, it's a lie, it is a made-up story. I come home, I tell my wife that, oh, you know what, today my coworker, he stole something from me. I'm talking about him negatively, but it's a lie. This is known as a buhtan, a slander. Ghiba, backbiting, is when I speak about my brother or my sister, and what I mention is true, but that information is hurtful to that person. In Arabic, it is stated as ذِكْرُكَ أَخَاكَ بِمَا يَكْرَهُ. Mentioning your Muslim brother or your Muslim sister, those things that are hurtful and inappropriate. Why do I make this distinction? Sometimes we find ourselves talking about people. We'll talk about a person's family life. We'll talk about a person's personal life, their work life, their history, the things that they do with somebody else. And when somebody tells me, listen brother, it's not good to do ghiba, it's not good to backbite, I retort and I say, wait, but that's true about that person. That person did it. If that person didn't do it, it is a bigger sin known as buhtan. It's a slander. If that person did it, I am still not allowed to talk about that person because it is hurtful. We have to remember, just like there are scholars in this world, sometimes shaitan is very educated as well. Shaitan, the shaitan that does whisperings in our ear, he's very educated like a scholar. He will make us do things and then have us rationalize it and give an excuse for it. So for instance, I start doing something, I'm supposed to give my zakah, I have to give my zakah, and I say, you know what, it's fine. Allah is going to forgive me. You know, Allah forgives all of the sinners, why will He not forgive me? It comes time to go for Hajj, I have the money, I have everything, and I'll say, you know what about my children's college fund? Isn't it important to give your children education? This is how he whispers. One way that he whispers is, I'm sitting and talking with my spouse, my family, my friends, we get together, and we start talking about somebody else. Oh yeah, by the way, you know what this person said? You know what this person did? I was walking to the store and I saw this person with that person. I was talking to my friend and he says he knows about this person's history. And then in my mind, I feel bad. But then shaitan whispers in my ears and says, don't feel bad. This is true about him. Isn't it true? And then I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. It's true. So then I keep going and I keep going. The simple recipe, the simple litmus test, how do I know that when I speak about somebody else, it is good or bad? Imagine if somebody else said that same thing about you. Would you be happy or would you be sad? If somebody said that same thing about me, if I feel bad and upset and sad and disappointed, I have no right to say that about somebody else. SubhanAllah, that's why the ulama's suggestion is this. If I ever speak to somebody, whenever I speak to them, my conversation should either be very general or be about me and the person I'm speaking to. The moment a name is introduced that is not related to me and the person that I am speaking to, let me completely end that conversation. If it is good, mashallah. Even if it is good, let's not talk too much about a person because it's very quickly that the conversation takes a very quick turn. And like I said, shaitan is very smart. He starts with something good and before you know it, it becomes negative. So the simple recipe for my own protection is, if I am speaking to someone else, the moment the conversation, mashallah, I'm talking about the weather, right, fine. I'm talking about politics and I'm talking about what's the situation of the economy, I'm talking about, health-related issues, I'm talking about work, all right, fine, not the best, but still fine. The moment I say, oh yeah, by the way, you know this person, the conversation should end. Even if it is good, طيب, I'm going to say something good, but don't let that conversation linger. Because one thing leads to another. In Arabic they say, الشيء بالشيء يذكر. One thing leads to another, and before you know it, you're going to regret that conversation. As the Sahaba would say, the tongue becomes the pathway for us to lose all our good deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from both those things that are true and hurtful, and those things that are untrue and slanderous. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, forgive us, and if we've done anything like this, may Allah allow those whom we've hurt to forgive us for our shortcomings. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.